News OK's Press Row with the Oklahoman's Barry Tramel and Jenni Carlson is powered by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'.
I'm Barry Tramel, and I hate the NBA All-Star Game, but I have a solution for that.
Might be a solution that's already been tried and somewhat true for another major league. From the Opupco studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenni Carlson. Press Row is sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. Barry, for a ton of years, Major League Baseball's All-Star Game had really fallen off the map. Not very exciting. People weren't really that interested. Then they did something and sort of reinvigorated it. Could the NBA potentially be thinking about something the same?
Well, I don't know if they're thinking about it, but I wish they would. I wish the NBA would give home court advantage in the NBA Finals to whichever conference wins the All-Star Game. I don't personally like the current format, which gives the NBA Finals home court advantage to whoever has the best record. I think that's unfair to the West, which for many years, including this season, much deeper, much more competitive conference, easier to have the best record in the East than in the West. So I don't like the current format. I think giving it sort of a coin flip deal is better, and I think that coin flip could be the All-Star Game. Whoever wins the All-Star Game wins home court advantage. And what that would do would bring more of a competitive spirit to the All-Star Game. What we see in the NBA All-Star Game is an exhibition game of offense. We see no defense being played. We see half-hearted effort. We see really people get intense only when they're driving to the bucket for some sort of a poster slam dunk. Give me a real basketball game with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant and all those guys having to play real defense against Amari Stoudemire and LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. That, to me, would make for a great All-Star Game.
Well, and you know what? You might have some fallout beyond just who's going to win and the competitiveness of the game. What you might see, first of all, is in the fan voting, people actually paying attention to players who are healthy enough to play. This year, Yao Ming gets voted in to the Western Conference starters by the fans. He's not even eligible because he's hurt. He's not going to be able to play. Obviously, I know his country allegiance, China, their huge influence on that, and a lot of votes coming from there. I get that. But if fans knew that their team could potentially get home court advantage in the finals, they might think a little bit harder about who they're voting for to be all-star starters for that conference that their team is in. You know, you might also see a move to maybe have some specialty all-stars, maybe a defensive all-star, somebody that is brought in and onto that roster as a guy that's really a stopper, somebody, you know, potentially like a Thabo Sefolosha, a Tony Allen, guys that are known more for their defense than for their offense. It could have some really interesting repercussions with this all-star game.
Well, I just think it would make the game more interesting. Right now, the NBA All-Star Game is more fashion show than basketball game. I mean, it really is. It's a 3-day event where the All-Stars are propped up on stages and sort of a glorified. Nothing wrong with that. But when the game starts, the same thing. And frankly, the pregame introductions seem to take as long as the first quarter, and it's all about glitz and glamour, and it's not about real basketball. I would like to see real basketball being played. I think in the old days it was more like that. There was no glitz and glamour in the NBA All-Star Game in the 70s, but there were some really good games. I'd like to see us get back to where the game had some meaning.
Well, and you know, it really does come down to the fact that when you talk about the All-Star Game, really, that's one of the least exciting things about all of All-Star Weekend. You have, you know, the rookie-sophomore game, which oftentimes showcases some of the best young stars in the league. Maybe some guys even that are on some pretty awful teams, you get a chance to actually see what they might be able to do with some talent around them. Then you've got things like the skills challenge, the three-point shoot-off, the dunk contest, which has really languished in recent years, but now Blake Griffin is in it, so you've got some excitement there. But really the thing that has least shined in the All-Star Weekend is the All-Star Game. People, they may watch those introductions, they may watch, you know, the concerts before and during and all the stuff that is sort of going on around the game, but the actual game itself is just such a non-important part of the weekend. Something to make it more central to All-Star Weekend, to me, would be a good idea. And you know what? I think being in the Western Conference, seeing how rugged it is, having a team in that conference, you begin to appreciate how nice it would be to have a team that battles, then have a chance to actually have that home court advantage. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.